Hi, Betsy. Hi, Mike. Hi, Susan. Hi, Mimi. Hi, Ted.
Hello.
Okay. Let's see who else we have coming on. And Andrea. We'll give it another minute just beforehand. Well, anyway, so I think we can go ahead and start this. So just so everyone knows, this call is also being recorded. And this part of the call, we're going to just not have as much of a conversation, and we're going to let Karen practice what she preaches, if you will, and publicly speak for us, and to actually give us tools and skills, and maybe even take us through a couple of exercises.
Oh, yeah.
Sandra, hold on. Let's see who else we can get here. Anybody else? Okay, so once again, you all are muted right now, which is rather ironic considering this is about awakening our voices. However, because we are recording this and we want real clear and clean conversation to come through, we will ask, of course, when you speak to just unmute your mic yourself, unless, of course, you're sitting in a totally quiet place with no phones, dings, and dongs. Go ahead and unmute now. I'm not gonna work on a domination system and tell you what to do. However, I noticed. No, joking. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Brenda. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. So, Karen, let's go for it. And we have, and actually, you know what, Tad, you've just inspired me. Tad has just sent me a message saying he's interested in learning more about body language training.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that we should include in there. And everyone, if you want to write a comment in the chat section, either to the whole group or to me privately, either way, I will speak them out loud for Karen so she can hear.
I have them here on the side.
Right.
I can see them here on the side, so that's fine.
Okay. So you can private, so you can hear what everyone's saying. Yeah. All right. Enough of me.
Yeah. I would totally appreciate it if people would unmute their mics and just ask questions. Yeah, ask me whatever you would like to hear, whatever you need.
What is a body language killer for a speaker? What will put distance between you and the audience? What should I avoid?
This is Ted, right?
Yes.
Hi,
This is Ted.
Yeah, hi, Ted. Hi. Yeah, that would be great if you could say your name first. That would be wonderful. Thanks. Ted, I hear you. And what you definitely should avoid is to not use your hand on the right level and to hold yourself. Like, can you stand up, please? Yeah, everybody stand up. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm going a little bit further back. I hope people can still see me. I'm going a little further back. Okay, everybody, can you still see me? Good. Wait, I put so that you can see the whole of me. Right. Okay, everybody. What we do is the following. Hands. The problem, can you still hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So the problem with hands is the following. Whenever we sit together and have a cup of coffee together, we use our hands and everything's fine. As soon as we stand up, as we change our perspective, when people still sit and we stand up, we are always at the point, oh my God, I've got hands, what am I going to do with them, right? So, and what we do is the following. We have a couple of levels that we can work with our hands, okay? That's important. So leave your hands just relaxed on the side, please. And if you touch your thighs, if you work here with your hands on the so-called negative level, what is that like? What does that feel like? And what does it look like? When I say, hello, what is that like? How does it come across to you?
Condescending.
Yeah, it's like, it's not much going on, right? It's like, it's not much energy coming across. I don't see what I'm doing. And it's like I'm breaking my hand just saying hello. It's not what you want, right? So if you go into your belly button on that level, onto the neutral level and work here, how is that? And you say, hi, everybody. Hello. How does that come across?
Reserved.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's reserved. It's not really what you want. So if you go to your chest level, to the positive level, we have a different ball game going. Because I see what I'm doing, because they're sort of in my eye area. I can see what I'm doing, and I'm working. And it's a different ball game when I say, hello, everybody, or if I say, hello, everybody, right? So and if you go into your shoulder level, when you work here, that's nice too, but for the Western culture, it's a bit much. Unless you're in Italy or Southern America, South America, where people work anywhere, where they work over here, that's fine. But in the Western culture, they usually work here, okay, on chest level. So if you work here, that's fine. And please, Ted, make sure that you don't hold yourself, or that you don't close your body line, close up when you talk. Okay?
Yeah, that's a habit, holding my hands like that.
I totally get that. It's a big habit of lots of people because it's very comfortable, just standing like that. It's very comfy, and it protects you a little bit, and that's fine. If you need a little bit of protection, go for this. We call it the basket. Yeah, you make a little basket, because as long as people can see your palms, they will be relaxed. Just leave them here. Just leave your hands relaxed. Yeah, and just close your hands here and just use that before you start working again. And always make sure when you start working with your hands, start working on the positive level immediately. Don't work yourself up, okay? But start here. Don't start like, hi, everybody, my name is Karin, I'm from Germany, la, la, la. But start, hi, everybody. And if you want to protect yourself a little, do this, not this, or this, okay? Like, because if you come towards a group, always make sure that they can see your hands, which doesn't mean you have to approach them like this or like that. It's not necessary, but you have your hands here. You just walk towards them, and as soon as they see you don't have any weapons in your hand, you're fine. That's really what our brain checks out. Okay? So this is about body. This is the most important in a nutshell now about body language. So don't. Also, there's a few gestures that you want to avoid, which is, for example, this or this, the praying or the porcupine, we call it, or the pistol. Okay, and the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, she has a very, very significant gesture. She does this all the time. I'll show you. This. Yeah. We call it die Merkel-Raute. It's the Merkel pound, we call it. It's like this, right? And it's yeah, right. You have it like this, and then you go down with it. And it's like, it's just something. People ask me, what does that gesture mean? It means actually that you don't have any idea what to do with your hands in that moment. That's all. So it's important to just don't do anything that comes between us or that closes me down. Always be sure to be open. Always be sure to be open. Does that answer your question, Ted?
Yes.
Good.
I think you also went into positive gestures, which I was hoping you'd cover too. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, if I have my hands like this,
we have open gestures, closed gestures, dominant gestures. Okay, and usually everybody uses like a third of everything. Open gestures are great, especially if you tell somebody to speak. You say, open it, or if you you're talking now, okay, go ahead. Or if you're greeting people, or if you want to show sides, that's nice. Closed gestures are important too, and dominant gestures brings us to a different field, the field of image work. It always depends on what kind of role you want to fulfill, how you live a role, and what you want to bring across. How do you want to bring your personality across? How do you want to be seen by others? When you use a lot of dominant gestures, people will perceive you this way. If you use a lot of open gestures, people will perceive you that way.
So I'm interested in revealing. When I speak, I reveal a lot about my personal history with substance use disorder, compassion fatigue, and burnout. And I want to do that to try to decrease stigma. So that's the first thing. So that I to try to get the audience to open up about their issues. And but I also want to make sure that there's some humility, and not that I'm speaking down from high.
I understand. So gestures should always be bigger, rounder, not small and hectic, and they should be calm. And if you use your hands, for example, on a chest level, and you have quiet gestures, calm, not quiet but calm gestures, right? And they're round and they're relaxed, you're fine. You're fine,
Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you. Anybody else?
Brenda, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself? Because I see you're talking.
I have family coming around.
Oh,
Hi,
oh, hello.
Brenda. Hello.
Hi, Brenda. Nice meeting you.
Hi.
Hello.
You too. So I have a question. I recognize that I have a habit sometimes when I'm listening to the audience that I either will put my hands down, like you said, I can't get away, in the basket.
Yeah.
Or the other thing I'll do is I'll bring my hands around to my back.
Oh, yeah.
And relax and breathe. And I feel very open and receptive when I do that. Yet I wonder what that's perceived as.
Yeah. If you do the basket, that's wonderful. I highly recommend to not put your hands behind your back, even if it makes you feel open and it's easy to breathe. I totally get that. But the thing about body language is very interesting. 95% of all people in the world perceive body language, no matter from what culture they're from, they perceive body language in the exactly same way, which is cool. And we can take that to an advantage for ourselves. So what happens if you, let me show you again one more time. So if, hold on. Okay. Can you see? Oh, my head is cut off. Hold on. Okay. This is, can you see me?
Yes.
Good. So if I say, hello, Brenda, that's a different ball game from saying, hello, Brenda.
Yes, definitely.
Right? What's different?
Not as welcoming.
Right. The thing is, you see that I don't have anything in my hands that I could hurt you with, and we're not even in the same room, yet you have the same feeling, which is interesting. Yeah. So because your brain doesn't, the human brain doesn't distinguish between being in the same room or being in a virtual room, right? The feelings are the same. So when you have your hands behind your back, even though you know I don't have anything, I push the suspicion button in your brain. Your brain will now say to you, oh, I wonder what she's coming up with next. She has something here. She's going to hit me with something now. Wow. Right? So if you don't want people to be suspicious of you but open, go like this rather.
Okay.
You can also breathe. Oh, have your hands here and breathe.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Great. When do you do public speaking? What are your topics?
Various places. I host things for women, and I teach a lot of classes. And most recently, I've been doing talks and on video, and
Lovely.
so a variety of things.
Great. Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for the question.
Sure.
Awesome.
And thanks, Tad, for bringing that up. That's a
Yeah.
great, really great thing for us to work with.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other questions?
A couple of times you've mentioned people not feeling afraid as if they're going to be attacked. And so what I'm hearing you speak about is basically tapping into the fight or flight way of self-preservation and the cellular memory of feeling like I'm not going to be attacked. Can you speak a little bit more about that? And are there other practices for engaging, creating a more inclusive and engaging environment through practice, through public speaking?
Yeah, thank you. That's important. Let me take one note.
And Karen, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, yes, thank you.
That's an excellent question, Lisa, and maybe include in the answer. I've had people, and it's been repeatedly throughout the years, where I'll have a doubter, and the doubter typically and critic sits to my left in the front row, like right there, and oftentimes it'll be this,
Yeah.
And I have had people Google me. I can tell they're doing that, and they're checking my facts. And I was in front of about 50 scientists one time doing a presentation for stress reduction and citing facts, and they were from the Department of Justice.
Okay.
So, those kind of intense times.
Yeah.
And wow, breathing and relaxing myself was first and foremost. Yet there was an incident about a year ago where I was literally affronted by a group of a couple people.
Yeah.
And what happened for me was I really was able to receive deep within what she was saying.
Good.
And then speak from my truth as how that felt to me, and not addressing it. How can I to go into it? I was asked to speak to an indigenous culture, and as you can see, I'm pretty white. Yet my great grandmother is full-blooded Cherokee, and so I was. Kind of, this person was like, what are you going to do? Come out and, light incense next. And because I had some crystal bowls that I was helping, and I also had a Native American drum.
Mm-hmm.
And this person was very against what I looked like. Mm-hmm. So I was able to respond in kind with stating that I feel that they're very fortunate that they have the tribe, and yet my grandmother did not. And so I kind of work with that, but I'll tell you, I started to fall apart.
Inside.
Yeah, and a little outside. And so those kinds of situations can come up when we're dealing with emotional issues. Yeah, so those are a couple of things that I require some assistance in, as well as you answer that question that Lisa posed.
Thank you so much for that story. I really appreciate it, and I hear you, because I've experienced that many times. That I've been falling apart inside, definitely, and also a little bit on the outside. Yeah, and looking back, the more that happens, the better, because then you can practice. And first and foremost, whenever somebody gets on your case, this is the perfect moment to practice to not take things personal, because it's got nothing to do with you. You were standing for something that triggered that person. Right. Unfortunately, it was just you standing there in that moment. It could have been me. It could have been anybody. Right? We would have gotten the same reaction. What he learned in his birth family and he obviously didn't work through it yet, was skepticism. A good strategy to deal with people that you don't like or you don't know is skepticism. Ask questions, tear them apart. All right? And that's great. Okay? If that's what they want to do, wonderful. But I don't have to buy into that. So when somebody does that, let them vent, let them vent, let them vent. And when they're done, I always invite them to tell me more about the topic. Said, oh, okay, this is what I mirror back to them. I say, oh, I hear that you say you don't like my crystal bowls. I hear that you say, oh, am I asking incense next? Is there anything else? Tell me more about this, because that makes you vulnerable and approachable, and that shows the other person that there's a different ground where we can meet. Because if you're going into offensive mode, then you have Israel and Palestine again, which is not a desirable place to be, right? So, so always be open. Ask them to come in. Always get them into the boat and say, what is going on with you? What's happening? Don't judge. Don't judge. Just listen and let them talk. And at some point, they'll be empty, and then you can work with them. Then I invite you to ask open questions. You know, open questions, the one with the W, right? What, when, why, who, right? So who told you this? Why do you think this way? What are we going to do now? What do you think about this? Just invite them with questions, and then ask closed questions, the one that always start with a verb, right? Do you like to tell me more? Should we do this? Shall we do that? Okay, to get them into the direction you want them. So just listen, invite them with questions, and then nail them in a friendly way, as non-judgmental as you can, because the last thing you want to do is to get into a fight with a participant. And always, always, always stick with I messages. Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Lisa, what was your question?
We'll go back to my question because we're good. Susan's got a question. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Susan.
okay.
Sorry, Lisa.
No, it's all good.
I was responding to Brenda, to your thoughts there, and Corinne. I wonder if it would be important in a situation like that to have an awareness of why you're falling apart. You know, what is it that's happening? You seem to be confronting a situation that you're really uncomfortable with, and I don't necessarily think it's a lack of knowledge of what to do right now. I mean, certainly it's a lack of practice of being in that situation, but what's going on inside that's making it, you know, the situation crumble? Yeah. You like there's something you don't want this to be happening. What is it? Can we have if we were to have an awareness of what is confronting us that's so hard, then maybe it would be easier to overcome it.
I hear you. Thank you for the statement. And I always use that as the next step. If usually when a situation like Brenda described, it happens out of the blue. It doesn't. Nobody announces that. So you have to deal with it. And after the situation is over, I think it's very smart to go to a quiet place, to invite the situation back, and find out why it triggered me so much. So, Brenda, may I use your example again?
Yes.
Thank you. So that's great. Thanks. So what Brenda, for example, could do is go back, sit quiet, invite the situation back, and try to find out why does it trigger her so much? Why does it tear you apart, Brenda, when somebody reacts this way? And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. Just what is good is if you find out what kind of feelings come up. You don't need to find out the reason, right? You don't need to find, oh, that's because when I was 3 years old, my father yelled at me or something like that. Okay. I mean, you can, it's great to do therapy to find out about that. That's wonderful. But for the moment, what I want you to do is just to acknowledge the feelings that came up. What was it? Was it anger? Was it sadness? Was it frustration? And if so, what about? What were you angry about? Because if you, for example, find it was anger, Brenda, can I ask you, how did you feel about that when that happened?
I felt really sad.
Sad.
Very sad. Yeah. And
Why?
I
Why
did.
was it? Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I did end up being awakened in the middle of the night that night, and downloaded quite a bit of writing about it from my great grandmother.
Good. And why did it make you sad?
Because prejudice is something that just isn't in me, and the sadness of people not coming together and conversing about what happens to them. And that we were doing it that day. It was happening. And I really appreciate your response, because I did some of that, what you said, and yet I feel I could have engaged her even more, which would have been a deeper healing. And so that's important.
Yeah. Did you talk about your feelings with that woman in the room?
I talked about the feeling of that I could understand where she was coming from, and you know, no, I wasn't going to do this, and this is what I am going to do. So I explained a little bit ahead of time.
Okay. And can I invite you to do something next time that happens?
Yes.
You don't have to do it. It's just an invitation. Next time, I think it's great that you explained to her what you're gonna do and what you don't do and what you will do. And also what you can do is use iMessages and tell about your feelings. That you can say, okay, the way that you ask me now, I feel sadness coming up, or I feel intimidated by that, or I find that really scary. Yeah, I have a feeling you don't trust me. Is there a kernel of truth in that? Yeah. And to get into that, what I do when that happens to me, I get into it and I say, I have a little bit of a paranoia going on. And I literally say that. Yeah, I have a little bit of a paranoia. You tell me if it's true or not. I notice that when you talk to me this way, that I get scared. Is there a kernel of truth in it? Do you want to scare me? Usually they're like, oh, no, I didn't want to scare you. I'm just so angry about this and that. And there it is. You know, then you have this little thing that it's all about, or the big thing, whatever it is.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So Susan, thank you for putting that piece in there.
Well, I was thinking also about your other response in your talk today about how you said that when somebody speaks, that it's either a cry for help or an act of love.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could.
An act of love or a cry for love. Yeah.
If we were in a situation like that, I wonder, you know, if it might be possible to keep that uppermost in your mind when somebody's speaking to you. And
well, that'd be great.
I know it's
hard, but it would be great.
I mean, yeah, it sounded like it was really personal, Brenda. I mean, it sounded like it was kind of a personal attack experience.
Well, I feel it's just part of my genetic structure. It was very fascinating because it was with UC Med Center, and it was the Cancer Institute, and it was also with 7 generations. And so when you know that your genetic structure is going out 7 generations ahead and before, and then they were talking about the facts of that, it was not a surprise to me that my great-grandmother was present in me. And so she was having a voice and I was speaking for her. And and yet a lady recently shared, and yet I'm appearing white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yet, if you look at DNA testing and all that, we're all together in this.
Yeah. Yeah. We are.
And yet it's not in my lifetime that I'm experiencing what she was experiencing. And
Mhm.
so, I almost could smell that all of a sudden, like 2 days before this, I went, oh, this is interesting. And I recognized I'm very white looking.
Mhm.
And that's what the gal said. She used presenting white.
Okay.
And I realized that, and I went, wow, I'm walking into a space where I'm going to be with my culture, and yet they are in the culture experiencing some of what my great grandmother experienced.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, it is in some ways personal, and in other ways I have an opportunity to carry forth some different perspectives, I guess. That's all I can
Thank
say.
you.
Thank you.
That's wow. It's interesting.
And I feel we all as speakers encounter that at times, depending on what we're speaking about, especially if we're visionaries and we're out there, I prefer the word visionaries rather than pioneer.
Okay. Another thing that is helpful when you get into rough situations is the breathing. Lisa, is there still time? Can we do that?
Right. This is what I was just about to sort of check in with everyone. So we are at the 9:30 mark.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go on and extend for another 10 minutes or so. No more than 9:45 though. So there's two things that I was going to kind of begin to wind us down with. One, is there anything else that you, Karen, feel like you would like to share?
Breathing, yeah.
The breathing, okay. And then also to Susan's point, and also Brenda's point, and also Tad's point, and pretty much for anybody who's doing public speaking, I'm wondering about skills before actually going on stage. Maybe it is the reminder, I'm here to share love, and I may have a cry for love, or whatever, some mantra or phrase or something that will support people to walk comfortably onto a public space with their voice.
That's good to have.
Yeah.
It's an anchor.
Right.
And I highly recommend it for everybody to have something that motivates them and that you take out there to give to people. And I highly recommend that everybody has a sentence that you say to yourself that you have in mind when you go out there. It may be I love you, or maybe I'm gonna rock this, or I'm gonna tell you all about this topic now, whatever it is. Okay.
I just want to interject something, because Tad just posted a question in the chat about dealing with audience members who are weeping while he's presenting or afterwards. So I'm going to put a pause here, because I think really for time's sake, Karen is going to speak on whatever the anchor point, and the breathing, and then what she Karen and I spoke about in advance of this call is that if you go to her website, you can actually schedule a one-on-one session with her and do a coaching session with her. And we talked also about a discount as a result of coming through reaction to response.
Absolutely.
So that's not my business to get into, so she's going to do that. And I will type here in the chat for everybody her website, and also we will be sending out a recording of this call as well as the webinar, both calls, both the webinar conversation and this call, to those who have registered for this call.
That's great.
But that it'll also have her information in it. Okay, on that.
Thank you, Lisa. That's awesome. I would like to give to pass over a tool, the breathing. It's really important. It's been very beneficial that you know the way you have to breathe when you actually no, Lisa, it's K-Knipper.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, no problem. I write it. It's okay. It's cool.
Thank you.
No problem. Knippers.com. It's 2 little K's.
Oh, very
That's
good. Sorry.
yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. It's all cool. It's all cool. I used to have a website, Karin Knippers, but I've stopped that. It's just karknippers.com. Okay. And so the breathing is really, it's very beneficial when you know how to breathe. And I could give you a lecture about a week about breathing, but we're going to put it in a real nutshell right now for all of you, because I really wanted to take that home. Ted, thank you for your question. And I wish I had more time. And if you want to talk about it, please get in touch over my website, and we'll find a way to get together, okay? So the breathing. There's 2 different types of breathers. We have the in-breathers and the out-breathers. And what I would like you to do is one more time to stand up with me. And I want to do 2 exercises with you. And please participate in both of them. And it's just about, it's not so much about understanding, but about feeling. All right? So here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to stand, and we're going to do 2 exercises. One's for the in-breather, one for the out-breather. We start with the in-breathing. So, and it's just about what I would like you to do is just try to feel which way you like better. Is it the in-breathing that gives you a little more, or is it the out-breathing that gives you a little more jollies? That's all. So we start with the in-breathing. Just put your head up like that and take your right hand and put it on your chest. Put it on your chest. Right. Don't push, just put it on there and make sure your head is up. Yeah, that your chin is really up. Wonderful. And now please breathe in the following way. Use your nose or your mouth. Breathe in and your chest will rise. And breathe out very softly, and your chest will fall again. Okay? Do that a couple of times. Don't work hard. Just let the breath come and go. And if you're an in-breather, you will experience the in-breathing as widening, refreshing, power, giving you power, and grounding you. If you're an out-breather, that will probably give you pressure, and it just won't feel relaxing for you. Take a few more breaths like that. In, and your chest rises. Slowly working it out, and your chest will fall again. And let your breath come and go. Make sure your chin is up. Okay. So how did you feel about that? Did it feel okay? Yeah?
Felt good. Interesting.
Okay, felt good. So make sure you just you get a feeling towards it. Now we're going to do the out breathing. Okay, just leave your head relaxed, tilted a little bit, and your hands are on your side. Take your left hand, put your thumb onto your belly button, and the rest of the hand beneath it. And now we breathe the other way. Just take a little breath, and your belly will become a little more. You can see that here. Comes a little more, and then you breathe out again, and strongly breathe out, and your belly becomes less again. Okay? So you breathe in a little bit, your belly becomes more. You breathe out, and your belly becomes less. Nothing happens in your chest area. Everything just happens here. All right? And again, do not work hard. Just let your breath come and go. If you're an out breather, that will give you the feeling of feeling grounded and relaxed, and it's giving you power, and it refreshes you. If you're an in breather, that will probably make you feel that you're losing your power. So take a few more breaths. Okay. So, and what we do with that is the following. So I hope that you had one of the breathing types that appeal to you a little more. Yeah? How are you doing with that? Mike, how are you doing with that?
I found that the in-breathing for me is much stronger.
What's your thing? Okay. Tad, how did you feel?
Well, I'm a little confused because I talk about breathing,
Yeah.
and when I breathe into my chest, what I've learned is that is a function of the sympathetic part of the autonomic nervous system. And when I breathe into my belly, then I'm really impacting the parasympathetic part. So I have a practice of
Okay.
when I get ramped up,
Yeah.
I focus on breathing into my belly. And I find that when I first start to do that, I'm really breathing into my chest, even though I'm trying to breathe into my belly. And
Yeah.
it takes a little time
Yeah.
to get my belly breath going.
Yeah.
And then I can think a little better. So I was all thinking about that rather than, so I want to like breathing into my belly better, but I don't know if I do.
Yeah, you don't have to. If your body is an in-breather's body, that's fine. If you feel comfy working here, you're good.
Except I think that makes me more anxious and less able to think.
So what did you feel more comfortable about breathing into your belly or into your chest? Was
Frankly, I was
in-breathing
just
better
having,
for you or the out-breathing?
yeah, I was just having so much of this argument going on in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah. I hear you, and that's great
I'll
because
have to try it again sometime.
yeah. Right. Yeah, try to tell your thoughts to leave you for a moment and just focus on the feeling. Don't try to understand, just feel. Okay.
I'm a thinker.
Try. Yeah, who isn't? Yeah, try. Thank you. Sandra, I haven't heard from you yet. How did you feel about this? What was better for you?
Definitely I felt better about the belly breathing.
The belly breathing, okay.
Yeah, definitely. I felt a lot better.
Okay.
And I am also a thinker, but I didn't think about it. I tried to feel.
Good. Yeah. Susan, how did you feel?
Oh, well, I have a lot of experience with breathing. I've been doing yoga for almost 50 years. And the out breathing is definitely my comfort zone. And
good.
I've discovered over the years, I've discovered with experience that when I breathe in, I have to make an effort. When I'm out, breathing out doesn't require any effort at all.
Yeah.
You don't have to use any muscles to breathe out. It just happens.
Yeah, so you're definitely an out breather.
Yeah, and it's just, it's relaxing. So I would not say that it's energizing, but I think that it might, I could probably learn some new techniques about breathing while doing a presentation.
Okay, good. So, why are we doing this? The thing is, when you get nervous or when you get into a situation that makes you feel scared or negative in any way, use your breathing. So when you just found out that in-breathing is a little more your thing, what you do in the situation is you just take your head up a little bit and just breathe in. Nobody will even notice. You don't have to do this, right? You just put it a little bit up and breathe in. Nobody will get it. If you feel that you're tending more towards breathing out, the out breathing, you just tilt your head a little bit and just breathe out. This way you tell your body and your fight or flight reflex, peace, everything is cool. So that will tell your brain to stop producing adrenaline, and it will calm your whole system down. Okay? So whenever you're stressed out, do that. And in order to get there, whenever you wake up when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed, take 5 to 10 conscious breaths. Okay, to get your body to assure your body that you're in your breathing type. Okay, any questions?
Well, what is the purpose of breathing when, going into a presentation? Is it, there's probably different purposes. Like one
Yeah.
would be to relax, but another would be to energize yourself.
It's to calm down, to focus, and to make sure that you use your voice 100%, to totally use your voice potential, which is another topic for another day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we are now at the 9:45
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
So I think it's time to wrap this up. Once again, I want to thank you, Mimi, for hosting. I don't know if you're still here with us or we just get to see the Charter for Compassionate Women and Girl logo here, but thank you, Mimi, for being with us and hosting. And thank you everyone else who is here with this call. Thank you so much, Karen, for your tips. And again, if you want to schedule a session with Karen, her URL is the second one, KKNIPPHALS.com. So that's it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. We look forward to seeing you next month on August 6th with Nicole Moen, speaking about shifting from transactional economy to heart-centered economy. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Lisa. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.